Some editing.
What's going on, man? Andre here, Unmatched Podcast. We are going to get into the introductions right after this, but first we're going to go ahead and play the intro.
What up? It's your girl,
I said we're
Nirvana,
going to
the
get into the
co-host.
introductions after this.
Oh,
Let's play
okay.
the intro.
Last time we forgot.
Let's
about
play
it.
it. What's going on, man? Andre here, Unmatched Podcast, here with my lovely co-host.
Hi, it's your girl, Nirvana.
She's real anxious to get to that. All right. And, we
Right. Gotta make it known.
and then we got special guests today, okay? We got youth pastor and her husband, all right?
Hey.
They've been married for a long time. How many years y'all been married?
We're going on 14.
Y'all capping. They've been
What a
going
glitch.
on 14 years. Yeah, so this is Shanae and Ronell Blaze, man. Make some noise in the chat, guys. Okay, so today we got an interesting topic for you guys. You know, the topic is, I believe it's, does the church push marriage too fast on young couples? A lot of us got married at young ages, so it felt like this was like an appropriate topic for us to get into. So, do you guys think that the church pushes marriage on young couples too fast? And if so, what are the reasons? We're gonna start off with you. What you think? How you feel?
I don't necessarily think that they push it too fast. I think sometimes the reasoning that they want to push it is valid because, people, they'll be keeping it in their pants. So they feel like in order to, stay holy, you probably should get married. But I just don't always think that's the answer.
What you think?
So I just don't think that it should be pushed. I think more likely healthy relationships should be pushed because I think people get in a relationship way too early, immature. Oh, you got a baby. You need to go ahead and get off and get married when it's two kids that don't know this from that. So I think that most of the time that the church shouldn't push it. They should push healthy relationship, how to mature, how to develop to where you're supposed to be at.
What you think?
I think it depends on the situation, like you said. Like, it just depends on the situation to some people and how them people that are ahead of them, like grandmas, mothers, aunties, whatever, dads, uncles, and whatever, like the agenda that they want to push because, like, certain circumstances and stuff like that make it to where, like, they don't want to be shamed or something like that. So it just depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, just depends.
I think they definitely push it too fast. I'm going on the opposite end of the spectrum, guys. I think they push it too fast because I don't even think people understand the full length of marriage when they're pushing it on these young ages. Even if it's just to be holy, even if it's just to keep things in their pants. They're pushing it and people don't understand what's really going on. I mean, like, people are turning into wives. They don't even know how to take care of themselves yet. And even men, they don't know how to take care of a family. They don't even know how to pay bills and get out there and just pay bills on their own.
Right.
So I think pushing it just because, say, somebody's pregnant is not always.
Definitely not.
I mean, okay, you already did the sin and you fornicated. But just because you made one mistake don't mean you should make a lifelong decision mistake and force that person to get married.
Right.
They just had a good time with each other that night. That doesn't mean that they should spend the rest of their life together.
Right. Because it may not even be a good match.
Exactly. They just matched up and had a kid. But that exactly. So I think they push it too fast. I think honestly we should have some type of training for
That's what I was
maybe
gonna say.
young people on getting married. As far as like
Marriage just comes with a whole nother level of warfare. It can be stressful.
for real.
Yeah.
You have to. It got to be more than sex.
Exactly. It definitely has.
Because if that's what you're getting married for, you're already starting off doomed. Your foundation's already messed up.
Already messed up.
Yeah.
You know, one of our first foundations in our first marriage was off sex. And we basically was like, okay, we was just together the whole time. And we was trying to tell each other, all right, we're going to do this, get married, and we're going to stop.
Yeah.
Probably 3 days before our first wedding, we stopped having sex. and then that foundation led to divorce 7 years later. So,
But see, you made it 7 years though. A lot of people don't make it
did.
7.
Yeah, a lot of people
So
don't
you
make
made it past 7.
Yeah.
But
true, but
it's
at the
still-
same time, that 7 year gap and what happened in those 7 years was. Now that was the test, the hard.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast. But yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, I feel you because there's a lot of it. Like you have to learn how to compromise. You gotta
Right.
number one, you gotta learn how to live with somebody else that's another gender. Most of the time, you start off just living at home.
Right.
So when you're living with somebody, like you gotta learn how to compromise on everything.
Yeah.
And some of these, like some females don't even want to cook. They don't want to do laundry. They don't want to do nothing.
They don't want to submit.
Yeah.
Let's just that word submission. They don't want. Oh, ain't nobody can tell me what to do. Ain't nobody gonna. I got my own mind. I can.
Yeah.
And that's just not even. It just.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
so I
marriage
think
at
they push it
all.
too fast
At
because
all.
it comes with just so much.
And then there are some people that get married fast, and it just literally works out. Because in all honesty, we got married very quickly. We went from dating in July, engaged in September, married in November, and it wasn't even the fact that we got married fast that messed up our marriage. It was everything in between. But so some people, they get married fast and it just works out, or they get married young. I got married, 10 days after I turned 19 my first time. I didn't have no business getting married. Just because I had Darian didn't mean that I should have been marrying at all. I wasn't prepared. I didn't
Yeah.
know anything. First off, I was spoiled. So I didn't know how to be a wife. I learned how to cook in the process. That marriage lasted 5 years. But I think back, even leaving that marriage, I still didn't know what I was doing. I just was making it work. There's way too many factors that come into marriage to just be telling somebody, "Oh, you got married, you got a baby, get married now." That
Yeah, because parenting even comes with its own
it does.
little things, ways to maneuver.
Right.
Like so, nobody even really teaches you how to be a parent.
No.
They just
No.
tell you like, it's gonna be tough, and then you be like, all right, I can knock it out.
Yeah.
But it's real life hard, just
real life.
parenting. So if you and another person can just co-parent, you're already winning.
Yeah.
Already.
And then on top of that, you have to co-parent and get along with this person that you marrying.
Right.
Right.
That could be just a lot. And you can see how some people just end up in divorce because of getting married and trying to be a parent all at the same time.
Yeah,
sure.
I think that there's two different monsters in it because you got your marriage monster, which is
Yeah.
like, wow, we out here going through it. And if you're just going through it just in your marriage, it's rough.
Yeah.
And then you got your kid on top of it, and you got two people. I always say the oldest kid is the worst because they coming in with two people that don't know what they doing.
Yeah.
So you basically the test dummy on is this good or not.
Yeah.
I know what
I
I'm
think
doing.
personally, that's why with me, like I don't had like so many people talk so down and so bad on me, like outside, like with family and everything outside, like, oh, you're gonna get married to someone who doesn't love you. Oh, you're gonna have 15 kids and none of them's gonna love you, and you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. So I was kind of like, I was so stubborn and hard headed that I did everything I possibly could to not do what they like was saying.
Yeah.
And it was just reached another level when I got into God, because when I had got saved, it just made me even more determined. Like, no, there's a way to do this. Like, you don't
Absolutely.
have to get married because you're pregnant. You don't
Nope.
have to have a kid right away. Like, in our marriage, I love the fact that we didn't have a kid for so long because it made us get to know each other and all the challenges
I love that.
and stuff. So we got through a lot as a married couple, and we had growth a lot. So we were already built and established in ourselves. So by the time we had Leilani, we already had a strong foundation as a couple. So bringing a kid into that, it's like, okay, we kind of already know how we are. We kind of know what we expect with each other, and it's been great. So we have already did all the challenges of what it is become a married couple and learning all that, because we're not mature. I wasn't mature in my relationship when I first got married.
Absolutely.
I wasn't. So adding a kid onto that,
Yep.
like that would have been like hard. And I know some people do it, but the easiest way I thought in my head was just like, no, wait. And then there's other goals that I wanted. Like I wanted a career, not just a job. Like I
Right.
wanted a career that I could flourish in. I wanted to make sure I had my own house. I wanted to make sure I had a car. Like I wanted those things before I even
Goals.
brought a kid into this world, because I knew how serious it was. Like bringing someone into this world. This kid is gonna grow up to be something, and whether that's good or bad, that depends on your parenting.
That's
Right.
it.
Yeah, yeah, you was really immature. You know what I'm saying? She was really immature.
What?
And I was
Just
immature
her.
too. Because like I grew up where like my parents would just ask stupid questions like, are you dumb, stupid, or slow? Like that's like a three negative picks. How do I choose between one of them? And then if you gave a response like I'm a little slow, like, oh, you want to be cute? Like, I mean, it was just a lot. So I grew up like that. So then when me and Nirvana start arguing, I would go to those resources. Are you dumb, stupid, or slow?
Yeah.
And then that would really like affect her. Where me, I just grew up with my dad saying it, like, oh well, like I'm not worried about what you're talking about.
You're not gonna
Yeah.
call me on
And
that name.
then-
Anything you don't like, you refer to me in any way outside my name. To me,
Oh, yeah,
that's
it's about
like
to be an issue.
calling me out my name.
Yes,
Yeah, she takes it real
And
sensitive.
I really lived a gangster life, so I
She
didn't
knew
take
that
no
too.
disrespect from people.
So she would she would like internalize those things and then it like really hurt her. So I had to learn how to move a little differently in the marriage. And then when like we boyfriend and girlfriend, it's different. We get mad at each other like, okay, let me take you home right quick. Take you home, I'm done with you for today. And then we'll restart tomorrow. But when you get married, now it's just dumb stuff. Now we walk around the house. I go in the
Bleh.
kitchen. She leave the kitchen. I come in the living room. She stay in the room. I go use the bathroom in the room. She come out the room. We just doing dumb stuff, playing
Yep.
peekaboo
I
all
remember-
throughout the house.
I remember
So-
one time we were so mad at each other, and I think I wanted to go to sleep, and Andre kept wanting the light on because he wasn't ready for sleep. So I ended up taking out all the light bulbs.
Oh God.
Exactly.
Well,
You see what I'm
I
saying?
was
Immature. You see what I'm saying? Immature. So if we would add like a baby into that, that's
Yeah.
just total chaos. They gotta call like CPS or something, CYFD, come get the kid or something, because it's just not healthy. So being married for a long amount of time and being able to travel and have fun without the kid is a lot easier when you do have a kid. Because now that we have a kid, really there's no fun in the marriage. I mean, we got a young kid, so you can't go to movies. You can't do. She's not gonna sit through that,
Yeah, no.
and then you can't get a babysitter all the time. So a lot of that stuff has to kind of take
Especially
the back
with
burner.
our kid, because she's so hyper. She don't sit down for no one and nothing.
Yeah, but a lot of that stuff has to kind of take the back burner until your kid gets a little older. Once your kid gets older, you can leave them at home, and then you can go back to dating and stuff. But it's kind of hard to do those things when her schedule's busy, my schedule busy, and then trying to find time for us is just a fire stick and a TV.
Right.
Straight up.
So
That's
that's
what
the
I was
fun
saying in
part.
the relationship. Like, we already have a foundation of who we are. So losing ourselves when it comes to kids is just, it's not that, because we're one. We're on the same chapter, the same page. We expect and do the same things as far as splitting tasks and all that stuff.
Right.
So I think that's what kids don't know when they
Right.
get
Yeah.
married and have kids like right away. And I'm not bashing those who have kids right away and do it. I'm just
Right.
saying it's harder. Just coming from someone who had a kid later in life, married, it's I'm pretty sure it's a lot hard because it's hard now.
But like you said, marriage comes with a lot. Like even when it comes to living together, you gotta adjust to that person's
to
tendencies.
Right.
If that person is a dirty person and
And
you're
you're
a
super
clean
clean
person.
person.
Yeah.
Or if they like to go to bed late and you're a morning bird.
Oh,
or
man.
if you're I like to cook and wash the dishes at the same time. Somebody else might like to cook and then eat and then go back and just clean up after.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of got like OCD, so that bothers me.
Yeah.
And there's certain stuff like I can't go to sleep with the house dirty. I
Yeah,
gotta get
I
it
just
clean,
can't-
even
me
if I'm
too.
up all night. I'll clean it and then.
But that comes from how we
Yeah.
were raised like that.
So yeah, but somebody
He'd
else
wake
who
us up.
Comes from
wasn't.
the pappy.
Our dad would wake us up out our sleep, like, "Oh no, you got to come do these."
Yeah.
What?
You got chores, vacuum before
Fold the
6.
clothes. Come on.
Yeah, we had to do our chores before a certain time.
Yeah, and then he'll give like, okay, let me tell you about this, right? We got like $10 for allowance.
$10.
$10, right? All of us, $10. Okay,
Oh,
we got $10, and then during the week, I didn't even live there. I lived
you
at
had
home with my
sometimes.
mom, but I came and visited.
Mm-hmm.
But he'd be like, okay, well, your day to do chores is on Wednesday. You got to vacuum the living room on Wednesday.
Mhm.
If you don't do it before 6, you get a $2 deduction.
$2 deduction.
$2. What job gives a deduction?
$2.
I don't never hear you going to work and then they be like, nah, you didn't finish this. You got a $2 deduction. So I don't even live there. And then he's like, yo, so I got to go over there on Wednesday, make sure I vacuum the living room so I don't get this $2 deduction.
I feel like I never got my little $10. I'd always just be.
And then we'll be upset. Like after a while, if you got like 3 deductions and you down to like $4, it's just like, forget it. I don't want to do nothing. But then he might punish you more. Like, okay, well, now you down to 8 next week. Like, he'll just like do stuff to where you still want to do it. Because we was a little smart. Like, okay, I'm only at $4 on the Saturday. What can I do with that? I'm
figure it
not
out.
finishing the rest. Forget it.
Nah, he taught y'all accountability.
True, but we wasn't trying to hear that. Right? And then I guess maybe $10 went a little further back then. Because we didn't really
did.
complain back then about
No.
the 10.
No,
But
we
now
didn't.
thinking about it, like that 10, now 10 is like,
No, we did chores for free in my household. Just,
Facts.
yeah.
I was slaved.
Yeah,
I was slaved.
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we
And
got
then
some like.
Dared me not to do the dishes and would wake me up and say, "Hey, come do these dishes." Like it's 4 a.m. Like we got school in the morning. Oh, you should have thought about
Yeah, you
that.
should've
Like
thought about it.
Yeah,
okay,
it's tough.
okay.
Yeah, it is tough.
But yeah, man. So I think marriage is just. I think we should maybe do some like type of I don't know some type of classes on something. I know they have like marriage counseling, but I think they need to even get into it like deeper. Like women should have their own class where they're teaching other women how to even become wives.
That
And,
would be
and
great.
something for men on how to be a responsible husband
that
and
would be
teaching
great.
other responsibilities as far as whatever, taking care of bills, taking care of household chores, taking care of your wife, putting your wife first and not you and your desires and your wants and,
I
and
think
money
that's definitely
management. I think
necessary.
all that stuff would be valuable to like younger
Yeah,
guys.
I think that's necessary for the simple fact that we literally learn everything on our own. We'll go out
Yeah.
there, get hit, and
Trial
then,
and error.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how we learn to be this person. Like, thank
Yeah.
God we got Jesus and we learned it. But sometimes going to churches, you don't get the Jesus that you're supposed to get growing up in the denomination you grew up in or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're still getting hit.
No,
You're
we
still
got a
figuring
very
it out.
hell and brimstone Jesus.
Oh yeah. Ours was just basically raised out of fear.
It was all fear.
You don't do this, you're going to hell.
Exactly.
Ooh,
Yeah.
all right, yeah. I got
Yeah.
it.
We
You
didn't
fornicate, you
get-
going to hell.
You
We
going to
didn't
hell.
get taught no grace and mercy.
Nah.
No.
They wasn't just like Jesus loves you no matter what. They was just like, nah, you're a stink in my nostril.
Oh my
If you do this, you're going to hell.
Your
Come
righteousness is
clean.
filthy rags.
Yeah. Come clean or stay away dirty.
Yeah.
So if
You
you're
ain't
gonna be
going to
out
heaven.
there and you want to club and all that, just don't even come to church.
No, it was
Because
crazy.
you're going to
Back
hell
up.
anyway.
It was crazy. Like you out, like girls, you out here wearing pants. You know
going
you
to
finna
hell.
go to hell.
Oh, you ain't going to heaven.
That was like the famous line.
Jezebel,
Yeah.
You're going to hell.
And then the skirt got to be to the ankle.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
You're
yes.
going to hell.
Oh, you want to be cool? Wear a jean skirt if you want to be cool. Like
Going to
it was
hell.
bad.
You ain't going to heaven. We didn't have
It
no
was
type of right.
It was never no.
mercy or
It was
grace.
never none of the heaven part.
No,
Now that you think
no.
about it. It was never like, yo, you did a good job with your message today. You got a one-way ticket to heaven. You keep staying like that. Nah,
Yeah,
it was just like, yeah, nah, you had that scripture wrong. You might be going to hell.
Yeah.
You probably ain't finna make it.
You going to hell.
There was no encouragement. It was
And
just,
I guess that works for like our generation because I feel like our
it doesn't work.
generation
That's
was
why
like.
we all went buck wild.
But this is true.
Speak for yourself.
Whatever.
I'm gonna speak with
Speak
that
for
one
yourself,
too. Yeah.
right? No, but it worked to a degree because it kept you coming back to church because that fear was still in your
No, I
head
was
where you
coming
was
to
like, I'm gonna come, I got to get it right
No, true.
because you still have the fear of I got to get it right. This newer generation, I feel like they're even more sensitive. Like
What?
they're not as tough. I
They
feel
are
like.
just sensitive. They don't
They-
got no thick skin.
Yeah, like if you tell them they going to hell, they might just, I'm gonna end it all. I'm ending it
Yeah.
all.
Like
now.
I'm going to hell anyway. Might as well. Like.
Like, no, you just supposed to be scared enough to get it right.
Yeah.
They're just more sensitive. I even see that with like younger siblings. They're
Mm-hmm.
just the coaching even that we got like in sport. Coaches cuss you out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now coach say a cuss where he fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
They wouldn't have survived our coaches.
yeah,
No.
yeah. So
I wouldn't even think they would
coaches is-
survive our parenting.
No.
Because if like so Robin was crazy to where now I got thick skin and the way she would talk to us was like, okay, this is how you're gonna do it. We're gonna do it like this and just keep on,
Yeah.
keep going. Now, we got thick skin. If you come ask all my kids, they'll tell you, like, okay, now before you meet him, let me tell you, he's gonna be like this.
Yeah.
I gotta train them up to be tough.
I
That's
get
like Darian, when he first got his Colossus back.
Yeah.
So I just ran the dozens on him. I made fun of him the whole entire time. He was playing basketball. I told him, hey, if he fall down, that mug gonna pop on the court. That's gonna be horrible. And then literally he came to me like probably a couple months earlier to this year. He was like, you know what, Dad? No one made fun of me. Only you did. You're the only one who bullied me.
He was trying to give him thick skin, like, so if anybody makes fun of you, don't even worry, like, you know, and then no one did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backfired.
Nah, because your hairline is crazy. Like, I would joke back.
No, you have to me. You have to because
Oh, in our house,
it's
gets
just
real.
tough. So now everybody around me, all my kids, they got to know, okay, you got to be tough. Like my new little girl, a situation happened. She came to me crying. This little boy called me fat. And me, I'm like, okay, sweetheart, you're not fat. You're beautiful, all this. But they talking about that little fat kid right there? Go call him fat and tell him he stinks. So it's like,
That's
you're going to have to
right.
learn how to play the dozen. You can't come over here crying. You should
Yeah.
be making them cry. Like, you got to be tough. But now
too
it's
much.
sensitive. Like you said, the generation is just really sensitive and they
Yeah.
can't
And
handle as much.
going into a young marriage sensitive,
Woo.
Ooh, that's
that's a recipe
lot
for
of-
disaster.
Exactly.
Because marriage is already, first off, marriage is hard. Because, you know, I'm always talking spiritual. It's already hard because the enemy hates it. So he's going to attack it the moment you say I do because he wants it to break up. So if you don't have some good foundation and your foundation is getting it in and, oh, he's cute, oh, she's pretty, you're not going to survive.
That gets tiring.
Yeah, that gets old for anybody. Because
Yeah.
like I can't just be doing everything, cleaning, paying bills, and all that just because you cute.
No.
You know what I mean? Cute girls that all that can help.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that little cute that wear off.
That
fast.
wear off
That's-
fast.
That wear off fast. Even if
Because
your
then they'll start
girl,
looking upside their head and they're not cute no more.
yeah,
definitely.
even if she
There's
got a great
relationship
body,
weight.
Yeah.
even if she got like
Definitely relationship weight.
There's
Like if you go
relationship
into
weight.
a marriage thinking your girl or your dude gonna look the same, no, they not. We all gonna get big because even in relationships,
Yeah.
the fun thing we do is we go out and we eat.
I feel like that has to do with church stuff too. Because
Yeah.
I feel like that's more church couples. Because church couples, there's really not much fun to do. So every activity comes with food.
With food.
Or
It's
going
like,
out
oh, what
to
you want
eat.
to do? Let's go on a dinner. We're going on a date for dinner. We're going out to eat. If we go to the church, we having a meeting, potluck. If we going with the church activity, let's go to this restaurant.
Yeah.
Even if you're going on a double date with another couple, it's never nothing like, oh, let's go hiking. Let's go rock climbing. No.
We're going to eat.
Yeah, we're gonna go try
We
this
gonna go
new
somewhere.
restaurant. We gotta go eat.
For sure.
So I feel like church couples is more on the bigger side.
Yeah.
I don't know about every other couple.
I
They
think
might
every
go.
other couple.
And then all of us, we've all been married over 10 years. The person that we were standing at that altar is not the people that we are today.
Oh, most
Yeah, nah.
definitely.
You are constantly growing and
Growing.
changing your likes. You know, some of the things that you may like, you don't like no more.
Yeah,
And so if you're just basing it off that one particular moment, oh, look at she bad, she this, oh, he has a nice body. You're just
Yeah.
not gonna survive.
Definitely.
especially because marriage comes with so many obstacles as far as like
so many.
even other things like you're gonna face some trials as far as like people passing away in each other's family.
That's it.
All right.
So you're gonna have to get over like
Health
you're gonna have to
issues.
help. Yeah, trying to get through that. There's health problems. There's
And not even-
financial problems. You might have had this
Financial
job
problems,
and you might have been like comfortable
Finances.
with this lifestyle, and then you might have to digress and take a smaller, more
That's it.
health.
But even if you go into a relationship with thinking this girl's bad, this dude's bad, and all that stuff, since with the spiritual stuff, you being saved, that's a door for the enemy to
Straight
come
up.
into. So once you realize that this other person's changing in looks and
Yeah.
all that stuff, then men and women, there's temptation that comes along the way.
Absolutely.
And I don't know about you, but if people out there see you treating your man good and knowing what you give him and all that stuff, and if they see him, especially him, taking care of you, how a wife and how you're supposed to be taken care of, like a lot of women envy that so much. And they are going to try. They don't care who you are.
care.
They don't care if you'll get stabbed if you talk to my husband. They don't care if you'll get punched in the throat because I don't play like. They don't
We don't
care.
do that.
They don't. They
And
have
I
no
ain't even
boundaries
gonna lie.
whatsoever.
I get way more attention now that I'm married than
Way
when I
more.
was single.
Way more. It's crazy.
No, and
like,
then women are disrespect. We're at the restaurant, okay? My cup is empty. The ice is melting. There's nothing. Ronell's cup doesn't even have room. She can just barely pour. She just keeps walking by and putting some. And I'm looking like, okay. He had to say, can my wife get something to drink? oh, yeah. Like, they're bold. And, I'm not like a confrontational. I'm not one of those ones. I was more laughing like, this girl's real bold. Like, wow. My cup was coffin dry. And she could barely squeeze any drink in his cup. Well, we were at the mall one time.
It was
and
great
this
customer
woman-
service. She had great customer service.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You gotta tip
Wonderful.
her big.
Yeah, I had to leave a good tip. Like,
her
great
big.
customer
Refill
service.
after refill after refill. I'm like, dang, can I get my Dr. Pepper?
Can I get
No.
something? These women do not care. I've seen a woman literally, she tripped and almost fell in a trash can at the mall, looking at my husband. I'm standing right there. We're talking face to face. And we're like, we start walking by and she starts walking the other way. She never took her eyes off of him and almost fell in the trash can.
I ain't got that kind of aura. You doing it?
I
bigger
don't
than
even
me,
know.
man.
I'm
ain't got
a
that
man. I'm
kinda
going to the
aura,
mall.
man.
I'm trying to get the Foot Locker. I don't see nothing else. I'm trying to hurry up, get to the. And then she comes. You didn't see that girl? Who? She almost in the trash can? No, I'm here. I don't care about nothing else. I'm good.
Yeah.
You be aware, especially when
They
girls
be aware.
around and stuff like that.
They
Like I
know.
watch, even just in general. That's why with me, I'm more reserved when I meet you and more like because I observe how you are, how you move, how you talk, how like when you get excited, how you are, when you
Yeah.
get flirty, how you are. So like, okay, like this girl is like I said, oh, you look pretty. She's like, thank you. Like that's like okay, she a little conceited. So let me just back away because I know. If I say something to her and then she say something slick, like I'm gonna say something slick.
Yeah.
So
And we know when
We
women
know.
are acting a certain way around our husbands.
Yeah, we
But-
know when men is being a little extra happy. We know it, man. Like Nirvana don't even tell me. She'll wait till we leave the situation. There's one time we was like on a little road trip. Then a guy tried to flirt with her in the gas station, like the clerk. She waited till we left
Yeah.
to then tell me, oh, he tried to like. Why didn't you tell me that while we was there?
Because
Yeah.
what did you need to be
But
acting?
I'm more of a confrontational
exactly,
person.
that's why.
Like I'm not confrontational, but when it comes to like my wife, kids, I'm a little confrontational. So then I want to go back and see what it was about.
What, for what?
It makes me feel better.
It's a compliment. You have a beautiful wife.
Yeah, okay. You
He
could have
gonna,
just said
he
you were
gonna try to
beautiful.
shoot his shot.
That's cool.
Yeah, but you
I
wouldn't have
just-
liked
I gotta
it.
play defense.
This is true. This is true.
Nobody
you gotta
leaves
lock
Steph
up.
Curry
God.
open for.
That's true.
Nobody leaves Steph Curry open just to shoot.
That's
People
true.
still put a hand up. I gotta still get in there and put a hand up.
No, but the thing is with us, we stop it in its tracks. Like, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, okay, thank you. My husband thinks that too. But
Yes.
with men, it'd be like, oh, you're beautiful.
And
like,
you guys act oblivious.
exactly.
You're not that oblivious.
Maybe
We just
we
don't care.
Yeah.
Like, if you touch me and I'm like, now me, I don't like being touched. Don't touch me.
I'm the same way about the touching. Like,
Yeah,
oh, you're a little friendly. Huh?
yeah. Like move.
Yeah,
Don't
look,
exactly.
If you
But
talking
they-
to me, talk, but don't touch me.
But y'all can go up. All they saying is, "Hey, how are you?" And y'all think, "Oh, she like him." Like,
No, because you don't
no.
understand.
No.
We see body language. We can see what y'all can't see.
Yeah. we
That's
can see
that's
what
how we
y'all
feel.
can't see.
We can feel the shot being shot, and we got to play defense. We just know how the game goes.
Straight up, Matumbo. Like, get
Yeah.
out here, dude. Like, what you doing?
Yeah, we
'Cause that's why
understand the game because we be giving the game.
That's
so
true.
we understand when the guy is giving y'all game and y'all don't see it. When he texting, like if he writes you on Facebook, "Good morning, beautiful," he's shooting.
Yeah.
He already at the
Yeah.
line. So we jumping on that, and y'all just might be like, "Oh, my day's going good." Why are you responding?
Nah.
This
I'm
is
not gonna
this
Nah.
is borderline getting a shot up.
Yeah.
No, but that's the difference too between like girlfriends and wives. Like as a wife, if someone tells me that, delete right away.
Straight up.
Because you don't respect my boundary as one, being a married woman,
That
and
part.
two, my husband's boundary.
That part.
You don't respect it at all. So they get
Nah,
delete right away.
nobody respect that.
No, they
You
don't.
just said it. You said women, don't,
respect
especially
it.
women. They don't
Yeah.
respect
But
it.
that's what she's saying because she is married. If somebody does send her a text message or whatever, she's just gonna automatically delete.
Y'all
But
men
then-
be like, "Oh, good morning, handsome. Hey, how's your day going?" And then you tell us.
But we
"Hey,
got
She
business."
said, "Good morning, handsome."
That-
She got-
like she's shooting her shot. Why didn't you respond?
But we got businesses and
Oh,
people.
my
are-
God. Okay, so
That's
There-
exactly
those
what I
are-
was about to
those
say.
are
We got
clients.
businesses.
Those, so that
Oh,
could potentially be a client. She could be asking for a photo shoot. Now I just turned down $150 because you didn't like the fact that she wrote me
Well, because
and
why
said
does she
good
have to
morning.
be all gentle and stuff?
Is she supposed to be rough? Hey, what's up?
What up, gang?
No.
What up, gang?
Yeah, what's
Okay,
up,
so
blood?
here I am.
Like, what?
Because I don't ever want to come off as anything. If I have to hit up a man or something for a service, it's like, hi, I'm looking to get. Like, I'm going to get to the point,
Exactly,
not good morning.
The professionalism of it. The
Hi,
professionalism.
I hear that you're a photographer and I have an event and I'm looking for prices. Like, let's get to the point. I don't need to say, hey, what's up? Good
handsome.
morning.
Good
Did you
morning.
do that?
How's your day?
Did you guys do that when you were single? Did you just start off with getting straight to the point, or did you start off with a good morning? See, and then even when I
I'm
was
professional. I'd
even-
be like, hello, how was your day?
see, why does your day matter?
I hope it's
Because
good.
you're friendly.
You didn't let me finish. I said, I hope it's good.
Why?
I'm looking for pictures to get taken. Can you help me with that?
Nope, you went too far.
Yeah,
Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Hello. Okay.
irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And then, how was your day? Why do you
does
care
it
about
matter?
your day? I hope it was good. Why are you hoping the day was good?
Because you want them to.
I don't care.
It's
Hey,
common courtesy.
I see you
Common
have
courtesy.
this. What are your prices? It's very simple.
Yeah, when I grew up, my dad say like, dang, you ain't gonna say hi or nothing if you just got straight to the point.
Yeah.
So if you just came in the house like, Dad, can I get $50? You're not gonna say hi, hello, how was your day, nothing. You just gonna get straight to the point.
Yeah.
But then now we just supposed to get straight to the point.
No, because I was raised a little different. You come into the house saying hi to everyone, and then
Yes.
you do all
Okay,
that.
so if
Okay.
somebody
Hello.
wants to, so if I need a service from Shanae, I'm supposed, yo, hey, Ronell, what's going on? I'm gonna text your wife. Hey, Shanae, what's going on? I was just wondering. I just talked to Ronell. Hey, your wife responded to me.
No,
hey,
no.
Nobody playing
There's-
middleman.
there's-
You're not the middleman,
There's
bro.
different
Just
ways
get
to go about that. If you
There's
know
ways to
this
go about it.
like say like in church, if you know this dude is married, he provides a business, I would go to the wife first and just give her common courtesy, like, hey, I know you guys do photography. I'm gonna ask your husband if he can do it, or if they're not in business together, be like, oh well, I got like my toilet's jacked up. Can I ask your husband if he could fix my toilet?
I'm not
No.
doing that as a man.
No.
As a man, I'm eliminating the middle person. So
Yeah.
I'm going straight to the source of
Source.
who can fix the job. So if just say Sharice is a plumber. I'm not asking Aaron, can I talk to Sharice because I know she's a plumber. I'm going straight to Sharice. Yo, you a plumber. My pipes is messed up. Can you help me out?
Yeah.
I'm not going to the middle man.
Maybe y'all don't have no type of guy code when it comes to that. But girl,
Nah.
we got some girl codes. Even if like I'm writing you, I'm gonna include your wife in there. Like, hey, I heard you do photography, and I'm gonna tag her in the same message.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
So even like I had a friend who Ronell was gonna do their daughter's taxes, and she texted me, and I was like, "Oh, girl, here's his number. You can go ahead and text him." But I felt, it was respect. Like, okay, I just want to make sure because she's like, people be acting funny.
Yeah.
I respected the fact.
Women be
I
acting
didn't
funny.
need it, but I respected the fact.
But men
So
too.
for me, with a lot of situations, I'm like, Novana, I'll tag especially if it's a text, I'll put the wife in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need you to know I'm not trying to talk to your man.
Exactly, and especially if I don't know them. Like if I don't know you, I'm gonna do that. Like now,
Right.
say like I don't have Ronell's number. I know y'all like family.
Yeah.
So like I know the dynamic there, and I
Yeah.
know how you are. There's mutual respect. Like I'm not gonna do that. I'm just be like,
Right.
hey, Shanae, I'm gonna text Ronell this. Can you give me his number because I don't have it? And then you're like, all right.
I don't necessarily require it because I 100% trust him. So I don't really care about stuff like that, but I understand women that why they do it. I understand the courtesy. They don't have to do that. Cuz like in our like crew of friends, we all talk to each other, but we all know that, I don't want Aisha's husband, I don't want Trey's man.
Yeah.
So we know we can text each other freely, correct?
Yeah.
But I wasn't like that at first. I was still texting people. I was adding people's wives because I'm like, just because I'm cool, not all wives are that cool.
Hey, I'm a hot commodity, so you need to double check. You know what I'm saying? I'm
So
out
they
here.
need to text nobody.
Yeah, you got to. I'm a hot commodity out here.
Oh my
What is the
God.
chat
You
saying,
just be
man? What's the
talking.
chat saying?
They say it a lot. Amber said she was looking out for you, Dre. She said, women know women and men know men.
Yep.
Quinetta said, I just say good morning. How can I help you? Miss Lucianne said 100. Quinetta said to see what they on.
So a whole bunch
Lucy
of
said
women in the
straight to
chat.
business.
Yeah, that's
Ferris said too much small talk. Lucy said what you said. It's all about respect, especially when it comes to women.
So a whole bunch of women in the chat. Okay.
All right.
Let me help get in there.
Women hater.
You know.
I'm telling y'all, he's a human woman hater.
Oh.
The rascal's got in his head a little too much there.
Let's be.
So can I ask y'all a question?
What's up?
So if you have a couple that you know, okay, say for instance, you get in a relationship and you just know, like, okay, this is a person I want to be with forever. You haven't been with them that long. And it's like, I just really feel like this is the person. He feeling like, oh, this is it. Do you think that there is a time, like in your own opinion, do you think that there's a time that people should date? Like a length before marriage?
Minimum time.
Yeah. Yeah. You
What?
can't just get married after a week. No, that's stupid.
No, but there are people that do, and I have just been together.
Nah, no. I feel like I don't know. Say minimum. I feel like needs to be like 6 months because you can
6 months
grow.
is a good time.
You can grow tired of a person that you because everybody when they first get together they feel like
It's a honeymoon.
oh they
Yeah.
different. Yeah, there's a honeymoon stage. Y'all need to get into some deep arguments. Y'all need to have some real disagreements so you can see okay how do they act when they get upset.
Yeah.
How do they act when things don't go their way. You need to be able to kind of monitor these people's red flags.
How does
And
this
if you
person
do
live?
that right away, I don't feel like you're gonna get the true person's character right away. So I think you should take some time to see if you get bored with this person.
True.
Y'all might go out to eat a lot and you might think this is the life. And then after a while, you might be like, all right, this is kind of boring.
Yeah.
So I feel like you need like a good amount of time. I don't feel like you need like 3 years or nothing, but I feel like 6 months, you kind of knowing what you getting into because every day is not going to be enjoyable
True.
for 6 months.
Straight up.
So I feel like half a year is like a good minimum. I think before that, you could fake it.
Right.
Cause like even as a guy, we
I
done
think
been.
6 months is long. I mean, it's a good amount of time, but I think it's dangerous.
What you mean? Like you think it's too soon?
No, I don't think it's too soon, but I think it's just dangerous for the physical aspect, especially for the righteous people.
I feel like
Well-
6 months is cool.
It's a good amount of time.
Cause before that, you just horny. Like you
But
just
I
trying
mean,
to get it in for
No,
real.
this
Straight
is
up.
all facts,
You
though.
trying to
But
get it in.
the reality, I mean, I know of all the people that have gotten married, and I don't know y'all's story, but around me, I know 2 couples that waited. Y'all know one of them waited. What, 2 years they were together before they got married?
I mean,
didn't
it
do
feels like a
anything?
long time, but then if you think marriage is forever, you're gonna have this person forever. So 2
True.
years is not that long
No.
in the aspects of
But most
you're gonna
people
have
don't
this
think like
person
that.
forever.
Yeah, but see, that's why we need to teach our
Yeah.
youth.
That's why we need to teach our youth.
How
and
to,
I do.
and not even just prepare for marriage. That's like
Right.
another step within itself. You got to first realize like there's a step even before that of getting to know who you are as a woman, what your attributes are, and standing strong in that, what your views are, and not wavering in that. And being a leader within your own self, because you can't always be a follower. If you're a follower, you're gonna fall for anything.
Yep.
Friends around you, temptation, influence. So you got to know who you are. And even with marriage, when you first get together and all that stuff, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot love someone and profess and proclaim love until you love yourself,
Yourself.
first.
Yeah, because then
I
you end up
agree.
making them an idol and worshiping them, and then when they do
Exactly.
something wrong, you're like, oh, wait a minute, something's wrong.
Yeah,
Something's off.
something's wrong.
Well, because then you've based your whole life around them, and you don't even know yourself.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a
exactly, you
draft.
don't.
It's like an NBA draft. You know, you got the first overall pick, and then in the first overall pick, you have, I don't know, somebody named like Anthony Bennett, who was first overall pick, and then all of a sudden he came out to be a dud.
Bust.
Yeah, they looked good on the outside. You thought everything was going to be good. I was doing stuff physical and going great, and then all of a sudden you start getting to know them like, oh, they ain't got no stats. They ain't got nothing. And then to your question, I think more of a, do you think about age?
True.
The older couples, because you got older couples who are like, you know what, I ain't got time for this. So what's this? I want to do this. Versus the young couples who kind of just, I'm just in love with them so much. It's like, okay, you got to figure that out.
Then I'm on like 2 ends of the spectrum because I feel like you need some time, but then it feels like if you're too old, it make it hard because like okay, say this girl goes out and then she's testing out all kind of different people to figure out who she like, right?
True.
She testing herself out, so she's gaining mileage
But
this
he-
whole time. So
Gain
then when you
mileage.
go and you know, when you get married, you might not even find him satisfying because you done tested out all this mileage with other
True.
people. So it make it hard for you to connect with the person that, you know, maybe you were supposed to be with. And then if you don't, then there might be some stuff where the other people are inexperienced. But if you're both inexperienced, you learn how to please each other together.
True.
So it feels like maybe you should get married earlier because then she don't got as much mileage. But then you don't want to get married too soon because the other things besides mileage you still have to learn about, and you don't really know if that's going to work. So I think there's like a balance of a scale where it's like give and
Timing,
take.
yeah.
But
Right.
I mean, you can kind of make an argument for both sides. Do you want a girl with a lot of mileage, or do you want a girl who's, because after a certain age she gonna have some mileage. Like, you know, even a car. If a car is 20 years old, you can't expect it to be under 200,000 miles.
nothing
You,
wrong
you
with it,
can't
right.
expect. It's not realistic. But if you get a car that's, you know, your year, you might. But if you catch it early, you know what I'm saying? If you get a 2018 when it's 2025, pow, you good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm always
Like,
going to
you
talk
got
from the
wild.
Christian side. And the Christian side, we're not even supposed to be out here just dating this one, dating that one. We're supposed to be waiting on God. That's not just girls. That's the man too.
Well,
you guys
sorta.
are supposed to. What do you mean?
Because it
Sexual
say, hold on.
discipline. 2 words.
No,
No,
not even.
whatever, hold on.
Discipline.
Put the camera on
in
me.
God.
Go back. Because it says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yeah, a
So
man
that
that
means
finds.
let me get it off. All right. It say a man that
come on.
finds
We
a
want
wife
to be
that
heard too.
put me back on the camera. I'm gonna get a new editor. It says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. So that would almost mean we'd have to be searching. So we're on the prowl. We're hunters.
But you're asking God to lead you in that
okay,
search.
but we still on the hunt. We still
Yeah.
predators. Now, a woman, you're supposed to wait. So when y'all out here being promiscuous, y'all really
That's
gotta
it.
got.
But I don't think
like
you
they
guys
said
should
back
just
in the
be
day.
running through women.
Y'all going to hell. But
No, that don't mean you no. Just because you have to be the one to go out and seek doesn't mean that you have to just keep saying, well, let me
Exactly.
try this one, try
No,
that one.
yeah.
It's
I'm
supposed,
not-
it's
You're
the
not
same
supposed
thing.
to devour. You're supposed to look.
Exactly.
Okay, you
I
can't
agree.
take your little ding-a-ling.
So we're
and
supposed
everything
to-
that walks
exactly.
by. That's not God.
we're
No.
so, I agree. So we're supposed to look, but on the look, we're hunters. So we're on the prey.
Right.
So we shooting shots at a lot of stuff. But as a
But-
woman, if y'all just absorbing all the shots,
But here's the thing.
I mean,
No, but here's the thing. Even in that, even if you are out there who finds the wife finding a good thing,
yeah.
on your search and your look, if you could say you take a woman to dinner, if you're really in tune with God, He gonna tell you, but sitting there 5 minutes in, she ain't it.
I agree. I think that I don't think that you're supposed to sleep with everybody that you looking to hunt and find, because I think
Nah.
there's way more traits that you need to look for besides just sex. So I don't think that you should do that. But then
Or just looks.
as
either.
the guy, you're not even. I don't think it's realistic to say that we're just like, as a Christian dude, you just looking at church for girls.
No,
I don't think that's
No,
realistic.
no,
I
that's
think
I
that's
do
not
I,
think
I
that.
think that's the wrong thing, because the
And I
church
think that's
does
what
push
happens.
women and marriage on. If you got a
That's
new guy
when
to
it
come into the
does.
church, as soon as that new young guy, he's by himself, he's coming to church, you got a swarm of people coming. I went and visited a church, and I was married, and they were like, "Hey, I want you to introduce you to my granddaughter. I want to back up. Like, I just came here for the Lord. Like,
Yeah.
calm down." And so it's like,
So I think, yeah. So that like furthers my point.
discipline,
When you-
ladies. Sexual discipline.
I'm
Yes.
gonna take the thing from you.
Men
Go
and
ahead.
women, that's what it takes. Sexual
does take-
discipline. Because just to be honest, you know, we're talking on the righteous side. If you're out there, say you do find a great guy, a great girl, and you're sleeping with them, well, if you go into spiritual warfare, what are you opening up your relationship
Right.
to?
Yeah.
That's the hard part. And then when things start falling apart, you're like, oh, I don't know what's
Oh, I
going
don't
on.
know.
Well, you opened up the door for the enemy to come right in and attack everything. So you have to be careful. That's why, yes, sis, sexual discipline.
Exactly. And even if you do all that,
Realistically, though, most people don't. Like
Yeah.
we said, of all the relationships we know, I
Yeah.
know.
especially
two.
this
But that's
generation
sex-
now, they start with sex.
yeah,
They literally
I was gonna
start
say, that's
before they
stuff
get the
they
name.
need to learn. That stuff I mean, whether they learn it or not, they're accountable for their own actions. But we need to teach these, and we need to teach them young.
No, yeah.
Like young. Like even my daughter, like I'm trying to teach her, and even now, like when I pray for her, I'm already praying that God has a spouse lined up
Oh,
for
I
her
pray that
and
for
is
my
growing.
sons.
Like
crazy.
I pray
And
that
I-
for
That
my
is a
sons.
wild prayer. She too. I'm
No,
not even
no,
thinking about no
I
God.
pray for my
I'm trying to
sons.
pray for.
No.
I'm trying to pray for potty training, and you talking about praying for a spouse to come. You wilding. That's
No,
cute.
for later in life. You're,
Yeah,
you're covering her. You're
No,
covering her.
no.
This is
Talk
the
about
mom
potty
and-
training. Trying to talk about learning ABCs. Talk about
Yeah, we
keeping
pray
your
for that
room
too.
clean.
I can do that. That's the difference between that scripture. Train up in a child in the way that they should so that they might not depart from
Yeah,
it. You're
normal
training them
stuff.
up in God. All the other stuff that comes with parenting and teaching them ABCs, learning, education, all that, that's good. That's teaching characteristics, that's teaching education. But training her up in a godly way, she's going to have to be trained up in a godly way if I want her to attract
You
a
shouldn't
godly
even be
man when she
praying
gets
about
older.
guys at a 2-year-old. That's wild.
Nope.
That's just
But you're
extreme.
praying. No, she's praying for her future.
Don't try to take up
Exactly.
for her.
She's
No,
covering
not.
her future. I pray
No.
for my sons.
Okay, they older.
What are you? Cameron's 8.
That's crazy then.
No,
You
pray.
ain't her crazy. That's a wild prayer at that
I pray
age.
No,
for my
it's
kids'
not.
futures. I do.
I
Because
understand
when
you
I-
praying
I
for
don't
the
want my
future in
son-
general, but if you get into
no.
we're praying for a godly spouse, I don't even
do.
want her to date. And you talking
That's
about
a
praying?
dad and a daughter.
So we're
That's
rebuking and praying the same thing.
That's
That's
It
exactly
just
what it is.
neutralizes and doesn't go anywhere.
No.
It's
Because-
neutralized.
what are you
Your
talking
positive,
about?
my negative, clamps up is dead.
Okay.
No, because
Hey.
when you're praying in the spirit. I don't pray that prayer over her all the time.
Don't try to clean
But
it
when
up now.
I pray
Trying to
and
clean it
God
up.
brings that in my heart to say it,
You
I'm
don't
already
bring-
doing that.
That's
but
not God.
I know
It's
the
God.
prayers of the righteous availeth much. So
You
as
can
a mama,
back a scripture
if
with it.
I-
That's all you want
exactly.
to.
As a mama, if I am in prayer, especially when she is in this age where she's not even thinking about it, I know for a fact God already has her set up in the future because of her pregnancy.
Go ahead, see what the chat is saying. See what the chat say about that.
I'm on both sides of that one.
Lucy Ann said Dre sound like a daddy.
Yes.
The women in the
Quinetta-
chat strong today. Where the
Quinetta said,
fellas
I feel
at?
like if God is doing it and we know this is God, you can get together and get married within 3 months or less.
I
if
agree.
God is doing it.
I
3
agree.
months, Quinetta, 3 months is fast.
No, it is not. We got married in 4 months.
We can't use ourselves as examples.
No, yeah, we can.
Right? That's the rule of the show. We try not to make it personal.
Yes,
Because
you can.
we don't want people in the chat commenting on your personal stuff and then it get crazy. So
Personal is whatever. Because that's the real. So
where's the fellas in the chat? The ladies is in here strong today.
Nah.
This
No,
is
I'm
I
just
feel
telling
like
you.
I feel like it's right. So because remember, you're seeking God.
true.
If God comes to you day one and says, "This is your wife,"
God
it's
don't
gonna
even
work.
talk that fast.
He can,
He
though.
don't- he- but
Especially if
he
you're
don't.
seeking Him, and He comes and says, "This is it."
So you
You
think,
don't have to
so
wait.
you think you just pray and then God be like, Ronell's the one for you, and then next day, and then you just like, let's do it.
But if
I
it
heard
was
from
God,
the Lord,
if it was God,
I would have to be
sometimes
like
God
that.
literally does talk to you because sometimes He's talking. Like for instance, God talked like to a certain person we know.
Mm-hmm.
He talked to her before they were ever even anything. Before they were ever even nothing. Like God,
she was lusting. That's it.
Because she had a praying
was
mama.
thirsty.
I'm just gonna
because she
throw that
had a
in there.
praying mama.
She was thirsty. That's all that was.
No.
I think this is like the old church y'all saying praying mama. This y'all the moms that be throwing these men on the church. Oh, he
Nah,
a
I'm
good,
not trying to
good.
throw no men.
Look at this
Nah,
man.
they
He
do
got
that.
his Bible and
No,
do this
for
and
real,
that.
they do that.
Am
as
I
soon
right?
as there's a new dude who come to church, there's gonna be 3 single ladies trying to holler at him, and he like even we seen at our church, and he gonna knock somebody down.
Yeah.
He knocking somebody down. First dude, he come to church. Then everybody like, oh, he got a Bible. Oh, he a preacher. All this. This dude is a criminal. He a whole criminal.
Well,
and he
that's
just
when you're
knocking
supposed to
down
use your
people at the
spiritual
church.
discernment.
Yeah, but women don't be
And
trying to hear
then
that.
mamas don't need to be teaching no woman classes.
How
No,
many
no, no.
how many women do we know that done knocked down single men that done came to our church that done came and left?
No, we
No,
know.
we're not making
Exactly. So
Well,
I'm
you know,
saying,
It's personal.
But and with the like he's saying with the men, it's like I can go in the church and knock down more women in the church than going outside in the club and knock down women.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
because
that's true.
I 100% know that. We have seen it and witnessed it. But
that's why I don't know if like so when they say like a man that find a wife find a good thing, It depends on where you looking too. Like,
Yeah.
No,
It
yeah,
depend on
I
where
don't
you
think
looking.
you can just find
because
her
just
at
because you go to church, that don't even mean that they just go to church.
No,
That
that's
don't mean
it.
that they the right
Oh
one.
no, that
That's where people get it mixed
You
up.
can meet people at a gas station, at the grocery store, at
Yeah.
the movies. You can meet people anywhere.
But that's why I feel like 3 months is fast, because just because they go to church don't mean that they're godly.
I can speak to
Nah, not
ours.
at all.
I can speak to our 4 months
There you
because we started out as a situation.
As a jump off.
We
I
started
feel
off as a jump off, and then we, it just happened, and we stayed together the entire 4 months.
Yeah.
Moving together, figuring out life, and she losing stuff. I'm helping her. We basically helping each other, and then
right.
one day it was just 2 months later. I'm like, oh, you know what? Let's get married. But at the same time, I've known her since we were kids.
Yeah.
True.
We didn't
That's
look at
the
each other,
difference.
and then now, okay, we
known
getting married.
somebody.
Now, did we get flack from the church and everybody? Of course, because her situation, she just using
It wasn't
you
the
as a high.
ideal, like,
Right.
No. And
story.
then everybody knows my story. Everybody was like, I was just hiding the fact that I was gay, and it was a lot of stuff going on. We weren't gonna last longer than 6 months.
I think people gonna talk either way.
They're gonna talk.
So I don't think you could be deterred by that. I think if you're getting deterred by that, then you already don't need to be married.
No.
Because you
Don't say that.
already worried about what other people think
Oh, well,
about.
yeah,
That right
Because-
there.
That
If you're
part.
worried about other people,
Yeah,
It's-
because there's two ways you can look at it, and it's just if you want to be positive or negative.
Yeah.
Because when me and Ivana got married, they probably think, "Oh, she pregnant. That's why they trying to get married."
That's what
And
happened
she
to us.
wasn't even pregnant.
And I
Yeah.
was
And then there's other people that's like, "You just getting married because you're pregnant."
Mhm.
yeah.
So if you're just worried about what other people saying, I think you're
Yeah,
gonna be
definitely.
doomed
And
from
then
the
some
beginning.
people want to just, and if you do get pregnant and decide to get married, that's your business.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you grown. Do what you want to do.
You're
Yeah.
grown.
But I mean,
And I think especially in the church, even if girls is doing this, we need to teach them to stop doing it, because even if you get married, even if you get pregnant and all that stuff, like there's got to be some level of change, just like with you and Ronell, like, and probably in our relationships too. We didn't start off all holier than thou.
No.
But the thing is with married, if you're going into someone with married, there's got to be a time, a place, in the future to where you got to start holding each other accountable to do better. Like, do better to make yourselves grow. If you guys aren't growing and you guys are still in the same spot, you guys are not, the relationship is just not going good.
It's
None of you guys
stagnant.
want, exactly. Then it's just not worth it. Then that's where you find yourself like, oh, okay, maybe I made a mistake marrying this person. So,
but that's the difference with marriage, though, and being a boyfriend and a girlfriend.
That's it.
Even if you are in that situation and you feel like, man, you just stagnant, you got to work through it and try to
You
figure
have
out a
got
way
to
to
work
make it
through
better together. You can't just end
That's
it.
what
Oh, I
happens
made a
when you
mistake.
get married. That's the
Yeah.
But that's literally what everybody does now. It's like
Yeah.
they run. I've been married before. And
Yeah.
literally, I'm one of those people. Hey, we get married. We not getting a divorce.
Yeah.
But then, like literally 60 days later, I don't think this was it. So yeah, I did hear
yeah,
God
yeah,
on
this
this one.
wasn't it.
Now-
But yeah, you can't
Now,
run when you married. That's
since you've been married before, like a question between that, because I was listening to one of my favorite teachers. She said, when you go into a marriage, it's like a fire analogy, like a house on fire. If you know there's doors open and your house catches on fire, then you already know there's a door open. You can lead a way out.
Yeah.
Now, if you know the doors are all locked, they're closed, there's a fire,
Right.
then the first thing that comes to mind is, how do I put out this fire?
Right.
Absolutely.
So that comes with the difference between looking at marriage as a contract and looking at marriage as something God ordained, and having that covenant and the reverence in that covenant when it becomes joining one flesh and
Right.
stuff. So in your first marriage, did you go into that marriage like it's just a contractual agreement? Is it just this, or
I went in rebellious, straight up. Like I went in like, you know what? I'm gonna marry this girl. I love this girl. My mom's like, you don't know her. That's dumb. Don't marry her. I was like, I'm gonna show you. Watch. And then it was like, dang, she right.
Yeah.
We sitting here in our apartment, and she has we had like a roommate type apartment. So she had her room and her bathroom. I had my room and my bathroom. And that was that after 3 months of marriage with this one. I was like, okay, I gotta get out of here. But at the same time, I'm married, so I'm like, okay, well, we might as well still keep doing things married people do. So that's how my son came along.
so could you agree that you went into that more like a contract?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was definitely just it was more of a, I wouldn't say a contract. It was young and dumb because I wanted to prove other people was wrong instead of actually proving, hey, we gonna get to this. We gonna do this together. And who knows? We could have actually made it work, but at the same time, guy was like, nah, this ain't it. You go ahead and let that go.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm thinking like, okay, man finds a wife finds a good thing. Back to that point. Like, known her,
pregnant.
seen her all the time, lived with her when she was getting engaged to a friend of mine. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's, we cool. And then we just started talking, and our talks started progressing. Then all of a sudden we started, hey, let's do this and do that. And then
So you was friends with her first.
we
were
was friends first.
And there was literally no attraction like that. Like he was literally
were-
just a really good friend. He was always a person that I could just talk to. And
That's another reason why my wife can't have no guy friends. From the last episode,
Straight up.
because just like you said, y'all was friends, there was no type of nothing. And then y'all just start talking, y'all was spending time together, y'all start talking, next thing y'all know, y'all married. My girl can't have no friends because I wish somebody would, bro. Y'all, they just friends, and then I look up, they married. I'd be hot. Somebody
Now-
gotta die.
Now, okay.
Somebody gotta die.
Now we have a
No,
person.
not you, person. But I'm just saying, like,
No.
if I'm just thinking in my head, like, let Nirvana have a friend, and then they
get
just
to
talking,
talking.
and then they start relating on stuff, and then next thing she know, she tired of me now, and she don't like me no more, and then down the future, she marrying the same dude that she told me not to be worried about. Like, that would eat me up.
But
I
see,
would-
that's the thing with marriage too. Like, I know my husband. I've been together with him so long that one, I respect his views and boundaries when it comes to that. So it's not like we don't trust each other when it comes to me talking to other dudes. But I also know with him, he's not doing it to control me. He's not doing it because
Yeah.
I said. He's doing it because
We know me.
as a man, he's protecting
he's protecting.
he's protecting what he cherishes, and it's me. So as a
Absolutely.
wife, I got to submit to that and make sure that I'm listening to what he's saying, and it's just not like, oh, he's trying to tell me not to talk to him, and I'm got that.
But
Then
that's
when
how
you're not
that's how
submitting.
today they think.
Yeah.
You're not gonna tell me. You're not gonna tell me what to.
Yeah.
Today, that's how these women are, and it's like that's why I said they're not ready for marriage because submission is real.
Yeah.
And it's hard, even speaking from a wife. Like I
Yes.
wasn't submitted to Andre
I didn't-
in the beginning of
I
our
wasn't
relationship.
either.
I had so many issues to work out with. Even when we was arguing, like I seen so much violence growing up. I've seen so much things growing up that's what like I thought it was. So when we get in arguments, I'm like, hey, yeah, you want to hit me? Because that's what I grew up doing. But God was blessed me enough to give me a man to where he didn't even play into all
All
that.
blacker eye now, though. All blacker eye now, y'all.
But like it's growth and maturity when it comes
Yeah.
to all that. And it was so hard for me to submit, even after I said I do. But that's why it's important to find a ground and a strong foundation in your marriage before you start adding and taxing on things.
Absolutely.
And it can be done.
Absolutely.
I didn't have a kid. I didn't. And I was never pregnant. Never killed baby. Not bashing those who did or nothing. It was just, I waited because I wanted to do that. So, and it's okay. So don't fall if you're
Right.
like around friends who are having all these babies. Don't fall into that temptation. Think for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think like going back to what you said about how you were crazy and didn't submit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still working on it.
Still working on it.
Still
Me
working
too.
on it.
Me too. Praying for you, brother.
Whatever.
No, but I think that sometimes we bring up what we brought from our childhood, just like she's OCD, just like y'all OCD
Yeah.
from you bring up all of that, all the hurt, all the pain, and you try to bring that into the new relationship instead of letting it go. Like this is a part of me, and it's like okay, well that ain't a part of them, and that's why
Right.
you can't really grow together. So
Yeah.
like I got a situation with one couple where they're trying to mesh together, but they're still trying to hold on to things that happen. It's like, oh, this triggered you. Like I don't even know it triggered you, so I need you to kind of
Yeah, communicate.
Right.
communicate.
Communication is. You have to
People don't
communicate.
talk. People don't talk, and then they won't heal. They refuse to actually heal from what they're going through, and not knowing like that's gonna get you to where you're trying to go.
Yeah,
Like
you
we're
have
gonna
to
grow
let
great
go
together.
Of the past.
And even compromising. Compromise.
It's a lot of
compromise.
compromise in marriage.
Yeah,
and people
everything.
aren't willing. I want it this way, and this is how I want it, and like
Yeah,
you have
no,
to compromise.
You can't go into that relationship.
and then like even with us, like you guys waited what 10 years, however long you waited
10
to have it. We had my entire adult life I've been a mom, and so
Yeah,
he
you've been
came
pregnant
In,
every time the fair comes for like 8 years. I don't think you ever been able to
know.
ride since like 1998.
I was always pregnant, but he came in an instant dad of 2. And then not just regular, I had a 6th son. So we're living in hospitals. And so these are all things you have to think about. you have to think like different ages of marriage. If you're, a little older and you have parents that are like a little older, you have, like you said, you have to deal with things like, oh, they might lose a parent. How are you going to be there? I have a client who she just lost her mom, and her husband was just like, I don't deal with death. And so she's literally having to go through it by herself. Like, these are things.
And that changes people.
Yes.
Like losing a parent can change
Straight up.
your spouse
Yes.
for any type of way. You don't know how they're gonna adjust to that.
Right.
That's a big thing that can change you. That
Yes.
And people react differently. Like, I know if, God forbid, anything ever happened to Andre and his parents, I know, like, I would have to adjust for it, and I know he wouldn't be himself.
Right,
So,
of course.
Like, that's where compromise comes in. Like, okay, he's going through this thing.
So then you be his rock.
Exactly. You be his rock, and you're going to have to stand through it, and it's going to be hard. Just like with me, when my sister passed away, it was very hard for me. So I wanted to go back to drugs and drinking and all that stuff. And Andre didn't even know this, but the thoughts came back and stuff like that to go to originally what I
self-soothe.
wanted to do. But he was my rock, and he wasn't even comfortable with that. Like, Andre's never really dealt with like death of like just a loved one, someone he really loves, just go. So like he didn't know how to do it, but he stuck with me through it.
Yeah.
Even me, like I didn't grow up in church. I smoked, I drank, I was gang banging. I didn't come in pure into this relationship. He knew that, and I'm cut from a whole different cloth.
Right.
And Andre had to let me see a different side, but also compromise in dealing with that and allow me room to grow, but still hold me accountable for me to grow.
Hold on, guys, in the chat. I'm really like that. Don't think I'm sweet out here, guys. I'm really like
He's
that.
a goofball.
So don't play with me. I'm really like that.
Yeah.
But I think that's where we go back to the lead question: is church pushing marriage too fast on young couples? I think, yeah.
I think
Because
maybe
it's
unprepared. Like,
yeah.
not preparing them. I personally think that premarital counseling is great.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we ended up back married. We went to counseling, and it changed us. It helped us even to today. We've been married 7 years again, and we still use those techniques. Like,
I think it could be helpful. Honestly, I'm not on no type of counseling. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't want nobody else in my business that's not going. We know what to do. Everybody,
Yeah, but sometimes
honestly,
it helps,
everybody
don't you?
knows what to do.
Speak from a
It's
man.
just a matter if you want to do it. It's kind of like losing weight. You really don't need a nutritionist. You just gotta. You can't eat more calories than you're working off. Everybody knows how to do it, but maybe it just sounds better coming from
No, it
somebody
actually
else.
helps though.
Well, from the chat, Lucy Ann had agreed with Shanae. Says this is why folks, POC especially, need therapy and Jesus. Break the
What is
stigma.
POC?
People of color.
People of color,
Oh,
especially, need therapy and Jesus. Break the stigma when it
It
comes
helped
to
us.
that.
And what it did is for some reason, it helped me hear if he was saying something and I wanted to get defensive, they'd be like, okay, like, let me tell you, like, let's go back to tell me why you got so defensive right there. Like, sometimes it just kind of helped us. And see, like, me and Ronell, we have like a lot of couples around us that we help. And I feel like because of what we've gone through, and sometimes you have two people saying something crazy and it's like, wait, where did you hear him say that? He never said that.
You make your own
So like
selective memory.
we've kind of become a lot of mediating like for couples.
Yeah, and I would think like it's counseling, because I used to think like that. Like, I don't need no counseling. Like, I can figure this out on my own. I know what the problem is. It's her, and if we just fix her, we gonna be good. We just get on my way, but we gonna be good. But one thing counseling did was like, okay, let me open up how I think a little bit, because I feel like I know how to do this, but how can I talk to her in a different way? Because even if I say it out my mouth and then somebody else says the same thing, now you get it. Yeah. And so now I had to actually help her open up and then help me get to how I can talk to her better. And then it's like, okay, am I either arguing with you because I'm trying to get my point across, or I'm actually arguing with you for you to understand?
Yeah.
And so instead of it, it's like,
good.
This is where we're going
like
back
arguing.
and forth. Let me just make sure you...
Oh, it's Michelle.
Oh, okay. Let me just make sure that I'm hearing you correctly. Let me make sure she's hearing me correctly. and then we'll just go from there. But to me, yes, I'm therapy. I think therapy for myself, therapy for herself, and then therapy for both of us, so we can learn and grow and get to the goals that we're trying to get to. It's much easier than to try to do it for yourself, because every time you try to do something for yourself, what does the Bible say? Lean not on your own understanding.
Yeah.
And that's
so
what
go
we
get
do.
help.
And I think it's different for every couple because that worked
Yeah.
for you guys.
It did.
With us, I don't think we necessarily needed counseling, but we definitely needed a mediator. And that mediator that we entrusted ourselves with those situations, even though Andre didn't want to half the time, that rock between us had really helped us to
Yeah.
see, because this person didn't just see it from my side
Yeah.
because I'm this, or this person didn't see it from his side because he's that. It wasn't like that. They held us both accountable, and that was enough for
Right.
us. And
Yeah.
one thing about Andre too is it depends on the person. Andre, he wants to talk. He wants to talk it out. He wants to figure it out. He
Yeah.
wants to do that. And with me in our relationship, I was the one where I just wanted to just completely cut off. I didn't want to
Yeah.
talk. I needed time away from you. I didn't want to do that. So sometimes he pushed me to that. But then we also needed, in those rough times where we just didn't want to hear each other.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't want to have nothing to do with each other. Like, there was that mediator to help us. So I think as long as you find someone you can trust,
Trust is the big part.
and really pray to God who you can do that, because people are out to break marriages, whether they want to say it or not. Trust and just have that mediator that both you guys can listen to. And if that comes with counseling, then that comes with counseling.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
This was a good episode, guys. My daughter's here, so it's unfortunately it's over. You know, all good things must come to an end. So this has been fun. We probably gonna have to get y'all back because I feel like we didn't get to finish. An hour goes by fast.
It goes by,
It goes
so
by
Goes
fast.
by
Yeah.
quick. So this has been fun. Once again, thank you to our guests. We got Ronell.
Gang,
We got
gang.
Shanae. Thank you guys for coming out.
Yes.
Hopefully we can do this again.
Yeah.
My lovely co-host who was
Thank y'all
anxious
for
to get to her.
listening.
All right.
I'm making my voice known.
All right. And I'm your host, Andre. And that's Unmatched Podcast. See y'all next time.
Bye.